We may have actually reached a turning point in the Greater Toronto Area real estate market because the stats for March 2026 have been released, and for once, we've actually got some positive headlines. Toronto home sales rise as buyers benefit from substantial negotiating power, and I like this one a lot. GTA home sales up year over year for the first time in 6 months. So I'm going to share with you what's actually happening here in our Greater Toronto Area real estate market. One of the questions that I'm commonly asked is, have we reached rock bottom? Is it time for me to buy, or should I wait longer? And it seems like the market is showing signs of improvement, especially with the number of transactions, and specifically because the number of new listings has actually come down. And that's something that's the most noteworthy. You can see looking at our March 2026 stats that the number of new listings is actually down year over year 16.7%. And the number of active listings is down 8%. So as long as sales keep climbing and the number of active listings continues to reduce, we should eventually transition more into a balanced market. And then who knows, maybe even a seller's market. Maybe that would happen towards the end of the year or perhaps next year. Looking at the average price, it's come down 6.7% year over year. But if we look at February 2026, we can see that the average price was at $1,008,000. Currently, it's sitting at $1,017,000. And as further evidence that maybe our market is improving, we can see the average days on market is definitely lower than what it was last month. Last month, February, saw 54 days on market. That was how long it was taking for the average property to sell. Now it's 47 days. So with most of the measures, we can see that things are worse than where they were a year ago, but they have improved since last month. Here we're looking at the number of sales and the active inventory represented by the gray line. And it was really the middle of last year when we saw this enormous number of active listings up for sale. But something interesting happened in quarter 4 of 2025 when a lot of homeowners had just decided that we're going to take our homes off the market. Usually they take their homes off the market, then they put them back up for sale in February or early March, but that hasn't happened just yet. So who knows? We could either see a decreased number of active listings, or we could see, as prices continue to increase, that more homeowners decide to put their properties on the market. So the next month or so is really going to tell. But unfortunately for the Toronto condo homeowners, it looks like there is still a massive number of listings up on the market with very few buyers. We can see this article reads, Toronto condos in recession filled with supply that nobody wants, according to BMO. And where we're starting to see more condos sell is outside of Toronto, like, for example, York region, Durham region. The number of sales has actually increased like 30 to 60% month over month. But we can see based on this information that the average price for a Toronto condo is actually where it was back in 2019, unfortunately. And here's how the average price has changed across the different property styles. We can see that detached homes are down, and this is year over year. So we're comparing March 2026 to March 2025. Detached homes down 6.4%. We've got semis down 9.5%, surprisingly. Townhomes down 6.4%, and then condo apartments down 9.1%. Now, the condo market has not seen much of an improvement, specifically in Toronto, like I mentioned. Looking at the 5-year historical average price, so we're comparing the month of March throughout the past 5 years, with the average sale price almost at $1.3 million in 2022. That was when our peak took place. And in 2023, $1,108,000. We saw a slight increase in 2024, $1,121,000. Then the average price came down from 2024 to 2025 to $1,090,000. And now we've reached a low of $1,017,000 in March 2026. And this is one of the first times in a long time that we can see the average price has actually decreased in, you can say, over 90% of communities and areas in the Greater Toronto Area. Whereas it seemed the past year that there was some specific pockets, for whatever reason, that had seen an increase in value over the past year. But now it looks like Stouffville and Georgina are the only two areas which saw price growth. Stouffville up just almost 3%. And then most cities are down between 5 to 10%. We can see Richmond Hill has been about stable. King down 1%. Markham down 1.3%. Mississauga down about 4%. Toronto down 4.5%. Brampton down 5%. Ajax down 8%. Pickering down 8.7%, Vaughan down 9.3%, and Caledon is down 24.4%. And the TREB CEO said that the federal and provincial government's announcements on HST and development charge relief were important affordability policy initiatives designed to spur new home sales and construction. And what had happened was the government made a major announcement and said, we're actually removing GST on any potential new construction home sales. And then they took it a step further and said, We're not only removing GST, we're removing the whole 13% of HST on any new construction sales, specifically within the 12-month period, April 2026 to end of March 2027, which means that if you go ahead and buy a new construction sale during that time frame, and there's a few disclaimers and rules you should know about, so you're welcome to contact me for more information about that. But then what would happen was with those specific purchases, you would be eligible to get a full refund on all the taxes for those new construction sales. Surprisingly, this has actually made somewhat of a difference. I'm seeing more phone calls, more interest on new construction sales. It also seems that builders are excited about this. So as a result, they're putting their projects up for sale and they're putting them at price tags, which are going to, of course, draw a lot of attention. But the major question on everybody's mind regarding new construction sales is, will builders increase their prices as a result of this HST rebate? Because maybe the builders are thinking, okay, now that the buyers have this relief, they don't have to pay HST, they can afford to pay a little bit more for some of our new construction sales that are coming to the market. Of course, I'll continue to keep you updated on our transforming real estate market here in the Greater Toronto area. And if you are considering buying or selling, make sure to call me. My number is 416-671-5218. And if you're a real estate agent looking for a great brokerage with mentorship, with tools designed to help you increase your productivity, then make sure to reach out to me to learn more about eXp Realty. Of course, I'm very active on Instagram as well, and I look forward to seeing you next time.